Morning students, today we will study the chapter of expectorants and emetics. First of all, the definition. Definition of cough. What is cough? It is an irritating material which you have to remove by voluntary or involuntary. Voluntary and involuntary, you very well know in your APH subject, the muscles which are in your control and the muscles which are not in your control, right? Sometimes you do the coughing voluntarily, क्योंकि एकदम आपके जब डस्ट आती है तो आपको निकालना ही पड़ता है कफिंग करके, है ना। और कभी कभी क्या होता है, आपको इरिटेशन हो रही है गले में, तब आपको कफिंग करके आपको उसको बाहर निकालना है, दैट इज इनवॉलंटरी। ठीक है ना, कि एकदम आपको आया, कुछ इरिटेट किया और आपने उसको बाहर निकाल दिया। ठीक, देन cough is of two types, dry cough and wet cough. Unproductive and productive. Dry means ऐसा कफ which does not contain any sputum. स्पूटम क्या होता है? थूक। ठीक है ना, सॉरी, थूक इज योर सलाइवा, स्पूटम इज योर बलगम। ठीक है, कफ के टाइम पे कुछ लोगों के बलगम होती है, कुछ लोगों के नहीं होती है। तो जब बलगम नहीं होगी तो दैट इज वेट कफ, सॉरी ड्राई कफ, when there is no sputum or no bulb. And wet cough, that means when there is presence of sputum. Presence of sputum in the cough. ये चीज क्लियर होगी, ड्राई एंड वेट। सो नाउ we should know the treatment of this dry as well as the wet cough. For that we have the expectorants. What they will do? They will help in expulsion of cough. कैसे? आपके गले में कुछ फंस गया है तो आप कैसे बाहर निकालोगे? जोर से आप खांसी करते हो, है ना, तब वो चीज बाहर निकल जाती है। सो दैट इज फोर्सफुल एक्सपल्शन ऑफ कफ। ठीक है, तो जब हम जोर से खांसी करेंगे तो हमारा जो सारा स्पूटम है या कोई भी चीज, डस्ट पार्टिकल अगर हमें इरिटेट कर रहे हैं तो वो सब बाहर निकल जाएंगे। ठीक, ये तो है एक्सपेक्टोरेंट की डेफिनेशन। नाउ व्हाट इज मैकेनिज्म ऑफ एक्शन, किस तरह से ये काम करते हैं एक्सपेक्टोरेंट्स? फर्स्ट इज बाय डिक्रीजिंग द विस्कोसिटी ऑफ स्पूटम। अब आपके गले में बहुत थिक स्पूटम या थिक बलगम बनी हुई है, कैसे बाहर निकलेगी? जब आप उसकी विस्कोसिटी कम करोगे। विस्कोसिटी मीन्स, जैसे शहद है, शहद बहुत गाढ़ा होता है तो वो जल्दी से फ्लो नहीं करता, ठीक है ना। लेकिन पानी या दूध या कोई भी और चाय, कॉफ़ी, इनकी विस्कोसिटी कम है तो वो जल्दी से फ्लो करते हैं, ठीक है। तो जिसकी विस्कोसिटी कम होएगी वो जल्दी से फ्लो करेगा। तो हमने इसी तरह से स्पूटम की विस्कोसिटी कम करनी है ताकि वो जल्दी से हमारे से बाहर निकल जाए मुंह से। ठीक है, क्लियर? सेकेंड मैकेनिज्म इज बाय इंक्रीजिंग द अमाउंट ऑफ रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट सिक्रीशंस। अब इसमें क्या होगा, कैसे ये हेल्प करेगा? इट विल कॉज द डिमल्सेंट एक्शन ऑन योर थ्रोट। हाउ? बाय इरिटेटिंग द गैस्ट्रिक म्यूकोसा। फर्स्ट मैकेनिज्म तो आपको क्लियर है। सेकेंड में क्या होगा कि जब हम कोई एक्सपेक्टोरेंट देंगे आपको, एक्सपेक्टोरेंट क्या है? मेनली कफ सिरप्स है। कफ सिरप आपके जब आप पियोगे तो दे विल इरिटेट द गैस्ट्रिक म्यूकोसा। गैस्ट्रिक म्यूकोसा हमारी स्टमक की लाइनिंग को इरिटेट करेंगे। उससे क्या होगा? डिमल्सेंट एक्शन। डिमल्सेंट मीन्स सूदिंग एक्शन, सॉफ्ट एक्शन। वो कहाँ पे आएगा? हमारा गले में। आपने कभी नोट किया होगा कि जब आपको एकदम काफ़ी खांसी होती है, आप कोई भी अच्छा सा कफ सिरप पीते हो तो आपकी बड़ी ठंडक सी मिलती है, बड़ी शांति सी मिलती है कि कुछ सॉफ्ट सा, सूदिंग सा गया है ना? जैसे स्पेशली शहद पीने के बाद आपको बहुत लगता है ये चीज़ कि अब आपको काफ़ी देर तक खांसी नहीं आती। तो शहद ने क्या किया है? डिमल्सेंट एक्शन दिया है कि गले को, जैसे स्ट्रेप्सिल आप खाते हो, स्ट्रेप्सिल खाने से क्या होता है? आपकी हिचकिच दूर चली जाती है। क्यों? क्योंकि उसने डिमल्सेंट एक्शन दिया है ना, गले को सूदिंग एक्शन दिया, गले को सॉफ्ट किया, इरिटेशन से बचा दिया। तो जैसे ही डिमल्सेंट एक्शन आएगा, रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट सिक्रीशंस बढ़ जाएंगी। तो ये जब सिक्रीशंस बढ़ जाएंगी तो ये किसको बाहर निकालेंगी? स्पूटम को, जो हमारे अंदर कफ बना हुआ है, जो बलगम फंसी हुई है। तो बहुत ज़्यादा जब अमाउंट में रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट सिक्रीशंस बढ़ जाएंगी तो वो सारे के सारे गंद को मुंह से बाहर निकाल देंगे। क्लियर है दोनों मैकेनिज्म? ठीक है। नाउ वी कम टू द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ एक्सपेक्टोरेंट्स। Classification में we have 3 types of expectorants. First is ammonium salts, which is ammonium chloride. Second is your iodides. Here the official compound is potassium iodide. And the third is your citrates, which is antimony potassium tartarate. These 3 classes of expectorants, they will help us in relieving the cough. So we will discuss one by one. The compounds of this. So the first official compound is ammonium chloride. The synonym of this compound is very important, that is M-chlor. M stands for ammonia, chlor stands for chloride. So it's a mixture of ammonium and chloride. So how we prepare it? Just by reacting ammonia with HCl, we will get ammonium chloride. बैलेंस आप करते रहना, ठीक है. After that we come to the uses of this compound. First use, since you very well know, we are studying the chapter of expectorants. So first use is expectorant. Second use is diuretic. What are diuretic? Which increase the flow of urine. So when they will increase the flow of urine, it will help in removal of poisonings by heavy metal, maybe lead, mercury, whatever, right? So it helps in removal of various poisoning. So it is used as diuretic also. Third use is systemic acidifier. Systemic means it reaches the blood circulation immediately. Acidifier means it will increase the acid content of stomach, right? So from the name it is indicating that it is increasing the acid content. So it will be used in the treatment of alkalosis. Systemic means it reaches the blood circulation immediately. Acidifier means it will increase the acid content of stomach, right? So from the name it is indicating that it is increasing the acid content. So it will be used in the treatment of alkalosis. When there is increased amount of alkali in the blood, so if we want to lower the amount of alkali, what we will use? The acidifier. It will increase the acidic content and then it will balance it and maintain the neutral position, right? So these are the main three uses of ammonium chloride. You can take the other uses from internet as well, right? So our second compound is potassium iodide. The synonym of potassium iodide is, potassium stands for Kali and iodine is iodidum. Kali iodidum. So when we react potassium hydroxide with iodine, we get an intermediate which is potassium iodate plus potassium iodide, but not in sufficient amount. So we will again react this intermediate potassium iodate with carbon and then we get the required amount of potassium iodide. This is the method of preparation of potassium iodide. Right? Now coming to the uses. First use, as you very well know, in low doses it acts as expectorant, but in high doses it acts as emetic. I will tell you what are emetic, which induce the poisoning. When there is which induce vomiting. When there is some amount of poison in our body, then will take emetic, which will induce vomiting, and all the contents of poisons are relieved from our body. They get expelled from our body. That is the function of emetic. Right? Second use is source of iodine. As we have discussed so many times, we need iodized salt to prevent goiter. Then in hyperthyroidism, this potassium iodide will help and it will maintain the level of thyroid gland in our body. Then in various fungal infections, it is used as antifungal. And in various iodine solutions, like your iodine solutions. What kind of iodine solutions? Like your aqueous iodine or Lugol's iodine solution. All of them contain the iodine as well as potassium iodide. So our third compound is antimony potassium tartarate. The synonym is very important, that is tartar emetic. Tartar comes from tartarate and emetic comes from its use, that it is used as emetic. It induces vomiting, so help in removal of various kinds of poisons from our body. So only two uses of antimony potassium tartrate. First is same in low doses, expectorant, in high doses, emetic. And then in the treatment of schistosomiasis, which is your Kala Azar. Antimony potassium tartrate is not used as expectorant, it is used only as emetic. It was potassium iodide which was used as expectorant in low doses, and in high doses it was used as emetic. But antimony potassium tartrate is mainly used as emetic only, and in the treatment of schistosomiasis or Kala Azar, which is a worm infection. So in the treatment of worm infection, various kind of worms, like your hookworms, pinworms, threadworms, earthworms, so many kinds of worms. If there is any infection in your body due to worms, then antimony potassium tartrate is used as emetic. So these are the three main compounds which are used as expectorant and emetics. Now I will tell you the definition and mechanism of emetics. First of all, the definition. Which induce vomiting. mechanism, how they act, how emetics, how they induce the vomiting. First mechanism is by stimulating the CTZ zone. CTZ. This is chemoreceptor trigger zone in your medulla oblongata. Where is medulla oblongata? It's in the brain. So if we stimulate CTZ area of your brain, then suddenly you get the feeling of vomiting. Second mechanism is by irritating the gastric mucosa. What will it do? Will give the emetic. What it is going to irritate the lining of stomach, the walls and lining of stomach, so that the contents of stomach they come out through vomiting, right? But there are some contraindications in which emetic should not be given. There are some diseases or in some kind of patients in which you cannot give emetics. What is that contraindication? You cannot give the emetic to the heart patients, to the pregnant ladies, and the people who are hypertensive, which have high blood pressure. So nowadays there is another treatment which is gastric lavage, in which we insert a stomach tube. We insert a long tube in the stomach, from the mouth to the stomach. We insert a long tube, and all the contents of stomach, all the poisonous toxic contents of the stomach, they come out through this tube through vomiting. Through this tube they come out, right? So that is gastric lavage, where we use the long stomach tube to remove the poisonous contents, right? So one more thing about emetics is we are adding emetics in cough syrups also. Why? Because cough syrups, some of the people are using cough syrup for opioid action, for just for sleep purpose, right? So if they take the overdose of those cough syrups, then they will add an emetic also. Why? Because if there is overdosage of cough syrup, then emetic will help to remove the contents of cough syrup through vomiting. So all the contents of excess amount of cough syrup will be thrown out of the stomach by vomiting. That's why we are adding an emetic in cough syrup also, right? Thank you so much for listening, teaching.